Hello everybody and welcome back to the channel. So, just recently, I've been playing, I say just recently, over the last few months, I decided to play all three Batman games. And so I'm going to review all three Batman games. That's Arkham Asylum, Arkham City, and Arkham Knight. But I just want to say thanks to everybody who does like and subscribe and share on my videos. It's really appreciated and it does help my channel grow. Thank you very much for being here, and if you're enjoying this content, then thank you for joining. Anyway, without further ado, let's start having a look at Batman Arkham Asylum, which is actually quite a fairly old game. I mean, it's over a decade old now, I think. And this is the PlayStation 4 remaster or re-release or whatever they want to call it. Now, I started off at the beginning and obviously went through the game. Now, the game is very linear compared to some newer games of its kind, so to speak. So not even just talking about the other Batman games that have been made with City and Arkham Knight and whatever. But you've got... Generally, it's a lot more linear than even like Spider-Man or Guardians of the Galaxy or any of the other newer type of superhero games. And obviously, this is a PS3 game, 360 game, which was pulled over to PS4 and Xbox One. And as much as it's had some sort of graphical uplift with its, as I say, it's more of a remaster, I feel. You can tell in places that it is a older game because they've not gone to the nth degree with open world style atmosphere. They've kind of just tried to keep with smaller areas and linear type of gameplay. Go from A to B to C to blah blah blah, and that's kind of how it works. The game itself, in the gameplay style, there's like a detective mode that you just saw there a minute ago, and then there's the normal smash people to bits type of punch them and beat up baddies around you type of combat, which works very well. Generally, there's not a mass load of NPCs at the same time. I'd say you get to like 20, 30, and then it kind of calms down. There's these flashbacks like you're seeing here, which are very cool. I like those. They're more like, almost like puzzly style areas where you need to avoid that guy, like you saw at the beginning of the video, and then carry on. Very cool way to break up the linear parts of the story as well as the core gameplay. So, yeah, I mean, combat-wise, it's really good. Story-wise, I actually think this is probably one of the better of the Batman Arkham series. The story does really go well, and it moves forward at a decent enough pace, and the characters are really well done in the game, and it generally has a good flow as well. Like I say, you can get the combat is also aimed around the different batarangs you can get and the different extensions and extras you can do for your weaponry, so to speak. And yeah, you can tell it's an old game. You can tell it's an old game. That's all I'm saying. Like, you can play this now in 2022, and it plays perfectly fine. But you can tell that it is older than some of the games that you could be playing up today. Now, is that a bad thing? No, it's not really. But don't expect it to be a massive open world, Batman game and yah, because it's not. There's a lot being done to. Well, it was stopping limitations of the PS3 and the 360 at the time by doing gameplay designed strictly to allow them to be able to build the game So those things obviously haven't gone away for the PlayStation 4 version. It's just a direct port over of the game with a slight graphical uplift. I must say that some of the boss variations are a bit dull. It gets a little bit like repetitive in places. Like the actual game design of some of the enemies is a bit, and like you basically go through a portion of different areas, and a lot of the time it's very similar gameplay at points. If it wasn't for the story and some of the it does change area, like I say, but if it wasn't for the story, most of the time it could get maybe a little bit dull in places. But the story and combat really helps the game. The gameplay itself really helps the game. But some of the character design on the enemies is a little bit ugh. Like one of the points you're taking on a boss, but you take him on twice later on, so they just duplicate him. We've got two of them. It's like, well, why did you just? Why didn't you make a different boss? You know, like. One thing that I did like in the game is the random collectibles. Like you can go around picking up these little Riddler trophies, which is quite cool. But I didn't collect them all in the end. I think I did about 100. I think there's 270 odd or something stupid. Like your agility and your moves and everything of the game has a full upgrade system, where as you're gaining upgrades, you can upgrade your suit and your different attacks and blah 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 blah. I pretty much maxed out everything very quickly, and it permanently sticks the upgrade button on. It's like, okay, fine, but like you can easily upgrade almost everything without even trying. Like I think I was even halfway through the game where I'd finished upgrading everything. It could be because I died a lot. Or it could have been because, it will be because I've died a lot and I've carried on gaining points and then repeating areas and still gaining more points. Which, fine, but it did get slightly annoying that the upgrade button was permanently on the screen for a good chunk of the game, which kind of annoyed me. So yeah, I mean, overall, I think this game kind of stands the test of time because with it being over a decade old and it's still playable as much today as it was back then, I think this is definitely worth playing. The general story is good, like I say, the gameplay is good, the sound effects and music are really well done. Some of the facial animations are a little bit ugh, but that's probably because of its age, and all they've done is remastered and pulled it over to the newer, the last gen consoles really. It's a PS4 and Xbox One game. They've pulled it over to. I mean, if they was to do a full-on remake, maybe they could make a better job of it, but the thing is with that is you're still going to end up with the old game design problems, which is okay. But so this was a cool boss. The Poison Ivy boss area was really smart. So you got all those different weapons now. Look, as you can see, permanently got upgrade written on the screen, which is so annoying. But so some of the boss variations are really well done, and then some are just a bit. Now the area that is kind of the open worldy part, it's very minimal. Let's just say that. It's very much, there's an area here, there's an area there, and there's an area over here, and that's about it. Like, there's a few collectibles and a couple of bits and pieces, but there's no mass load of stuff going on in the open world, so to speak. Whereas they do change out quite a fair chunk in the next game after this one. So yeah, I would say, I mean, I picked up all 3 games for like £15 with all the DLC for both the second game and Arkham Knight. And for the price, it was absolutely spot on, I feel. Like, you can't really fault it. So there's an overview of the open world, but there's not much there. It's basically Area A, Area B, Area C, and that's about it. And there's not a grand deal going on between the different areas. There's like just it's basically just World 1, World 2, World 3, and that's about it. And you just generally go from one area to the other, do those missions. You might need to pop back to the other area and then back to that area, but there's no mass load going on in the open world like you kind of get with games of today. That makes sense. Anyway, that's going to do it for my review on Batman Arkham Asylum. I will be reviewing Batman Arkham City and Batman Arkham Knight later, because I want to review all 3 games, but I will wrap this video up here. If you do want to ask any more, just comment down below and I'll get back to you, and thanks for joining me on the channel. Thank you and goodbye.